Seth, can I start with, I'm looking at the Sweet 16 that we talked about last week because it's on vulture.com. And so it's there for anybody to look at. And we were not there, for the record. Me, Andy, and Yorm had left the show at this point.
I hadn't left the show.
Oh, you were still there?
Yeah, it was my last season.
Did you vote?
Yeah. Yes.
Really?
Wow.
It was the end of my last season. It was like Seth was very nicely, it was kind of like a final send-off to our being there.
Now I'm going back through the seeds to find it because it must have been seeded against some really... No. What the hell?
I think Dear Sister... All right. Well, I can't decide if this is the podcast yet. Or should we just start and talk about it?
It's the podcast.
I didn't interrupt, by the way. That was all Kiva.
I feel like we need to start the podcast.
Yeah, fine. I just want to say that Andy said last episode that I was interrupting a lot, and I don't do that. So.
It's the Lonely Island and Seth Meyers podcast.
Hey, everybody. It's Seth. It's the Lonely Island. I feel like maybe this podcast is starting right now, or maybe it started 3 minutes ago.
Can you just say this episode? Like, why do you have to call it this podcast? It feels so gross.
Just say episode.
Mainly because podcasts are so bad as a medium.
Okay, gotcha.
Not this one.
Hey, this episode of a certain medium, which will remain
now you're making it weird.
Nameless. Yeah, you think now they might know it's a podcast? Anyway, it's very exciting because Dear Sister is the digital short. I went back and watched Dear Sister.
You almost said
Freudian slip.
And is it Shister?
Dear Shitster.
40 million views on YouTube. But wasn't it off YouTube for a while?
Yes.
Yeah, we put it on way later.
Dear Sister holds up real good as a piece of comedy. Agreed?
Yes, sure.
Yes.
Yeah, we like it.
Very proud of it.
We're the Lonely Island. Stamp of approval.
I did not know the source material of Dear Sister.
That's even better. You thought we were geniuses.
I knew it was based on something. I knew you weren't that smart.
Dagwood.
Damn.
Burn.
Talk a little bit about where this idea came from.
So we were huge OC heads. We watched every ep of the OC. One of the most memorable.
Which began before you were on the show.
Correct. And in fact, Dear Sister, we shot the beginning of before we worked on the show.
Okay.
With different players.
Sure.
Yeah, the Lonely Island players.
It was the end, I don't forget which season, but it was a very memorable...
Season 2. Looked it up today. Season 2.
Of the OC?
Yeah.
Very last episode of season 2.
God damn, it escalated fast. That's why we loved that show so much. The OC, every episode, so much crazy shit happened on the OC. It was like peak soap opera storytelling, but in a really like horny teen way. Anyway, we loved it. Still do. The end of that second season then ends with a moment. It was basically the very first moment of Cranked Slow-Mo with the Imogen Heap song. Please leave that in. Jeez. Where there's a gunshot, slow-mo, slow turn. You realize someone's been shot. You didn't even know there was a gun. And we, from that moment, had just become obsessed with that song because we never heard that song before. I remember even working on the movie awards the night we were shooting with Fallon, big night in our lives, more than we even realized because it ended up leading to us getting the show. We kept listening to that Imogen Heap song on our headphones and talking about how amazing it was. And then it was you, me, and Chester Yorm tried to shoot it and then bailed on it because we got busy. We didn't think of the ending, but we had the first few beats, which was essentially the first few beats of Dear Sister, of it happening over and over again.
Yes, I'm getting shot first. I'm writing a letter to my sister, right? And then you shoot me, I think.
I can't remember. Was it actually writing a letter?
Yeah.
I thought maybe we came up with that at SNL. Anyway.
But how many years after then this episode is the digital short?
What season is this for us? Third?
It's so 7.
End of second. Close to the end of the second. So our second season. Yeah. So it was 2 years.
It was probably 2 years exactly.
Yeah, we never finished the short, right?
So 2 years, like for you guys, like 2 years is like 5 seconds. Because like, again, you're otherwise writing about like Total Recall.
Oh, I see.
Right, yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like this is an incredibly quick turnaround for you guys as far as culture.
Cultural turnaround, yeah. It was within 20 years.
Very topical.
Yeah.
So for you were like, I'll allow it.
But certainly, I also want to say, I don't think it works. The short doesn't work as a parody of the OC. You know, for example, not having seen it,
yeah,
I just thought it was very funny, independent of that.
It works, I would argue, as both.
Yeah.
Yes, I think that's fair too.
For people who had seen the OC, unlike yourself, they were very excited about the reference.
Got it.
But it feels like most people don't know the reference anymore.
At the time, though, a lot of people did.
Yeah. It also is probably one of the shorts then that we didn't have an idea for, because we also shot at Flat Hotel, I remember. And anything that was shot at Flat Hotel, it was usually that we were like, we're out of ideas. Let's do something. And I remember we didn't have an ending for it. And we were like, let's just get up there and do it. And came up with the ending on set, too. Isn't that right?
Wait, you came up with the police officer ending on set?
Or very, very close to. Yeah, the very last part of it we did.
It seems pretty written.
No, there was some editing joke that it became at the end that we didn't really have until like we were editing, I believe.
The only thing that wasn't written was how overlappy it gets at the end, where there's 4 different versions of the song playing at once.
Yeah, that was in editing where we're just like, let's just leave them on and have them build on top of each other, et cetera, et cetera.
But we had written out that then cops come in and then it happens with them also.
I remember poor Sudeikis and Fred just sitting in the hotel room next to our hotel room that we were filming in till 4 a.m. Just so tired, just being like, are you going to use us sometime soon?
Shoot us out.
Because we probably, what time at night do you think we started filming this?
Very late.
This was definitely a Friday night, late night shoot.
Yeah.
Like definitely a less than 24 hours.
Just because Keenan just told this story on our show about I was with him at a nightclub until 4:30 in the morning.
What day, though?
It was Thursday night. Keenan had a 5 a.m. call time to go do a short film.
Yeesh.
And then Polar was saying that on set, Keenan was doing a bit where he was getting calls from himself. Oh, no, he was on set trying to call himself at the club to tell him to go home. And so he was just standing, and they were like literally shooting on the side of the highway. And Keenan was yelling at his phone like, go outside. The music's too loud. You got to go home, man.
Oh, my God.
So again, it's Bill and Andy. Bill's writing a letter. And then all of a sudden, you hear a gunshot, and you see that Andy has shot Bill.
Hey, man. What you doing?
Nothing. Just writing a letter to my sister.
Cool.
Yeah, it's pretty crazy. I haven't seen her in years. It's weird because...
What you say?
Then Andy has sort of a meltdown, right? Like an oh shit, what have I done?
Yeah.
Gunshot song again. Bill has shot Andy.
Yeah. He was still kicking.
Slow-mo, hit the ground, heads on the carpet. And by the way, we've established that Bill was writing a letter to his sister. Wig comes in, rolly suitcase, starts reading the letter.
Shia.
Oh, no, I'm sorry. You're right.
Shia first.
Shia comes in next. Shia comes in with a lot of energy, which is really funny.
Guys, I just thought of the funniest thing.
What you say?
I think that was Chester's part in the original.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it's very funny because you guys you have a real OC vibe about the way you're acting.
Oh, and it's the same thing, right? Chester, that's what Chester says. Hey, you guys, I just thought of the funniest.
Those are the funniest thing. Yeah. Shout out Chester. Laid the groundwork for Shia there.
Chester Tim. Yeah.
Then Wig comes in, rolly suitcase, starts reading the letter.
Yeah.
Now you as an audience think you're going to hear what the letter says. Basically starts, Dear Sister. She gets like one line into it. Not even.
Dear sister, by the time you read this...
What you say? Oh, that you only been. What you say? What you say? What you say? What you say?
Then cops, right?
Yeah.
Then it's Fred and Sudeikis. And Fred picks up the letter and he reads the whole letter. And it basically is Bill saying, Dear sister, here's what I think's going to happen.
Oh, right.
It's a real turn.
And describes the sketch.
Hey, Sarge, listen to this. Dear sister, by the time you read this, I'll be dead. This is how I think it's going to happen. Dave will shoot me, then I'll shoot Dave, then Eric will enter and get shot by Dave. Then you'll come in and get shot by Eric, Dave, and I multiple times. Love, your brother Keith.
And the end of it is 2 cops come in and then they shoot each other.
Mm-hmm.
You see Jason with a gun out. Then a really funny jump cut because the second ago, Fred was holding a letter. Then it just cuts to him shooting. He's just got the gun in his hand.
Can I just say something about it in general?
Yes.
Obviously, the drama of it and the music of it and the slow-mo of it all make it what it is. There's something to me that is so funny in the context of comedy about the what have I done face.
Yeah.
And everyone gets to over and over do the what have I done face, which is, it's such a like trope that we like love.
There's that, but then there's also the shocked to be shot too, of just like, oh,
what have I done? What did you do?
They're both communicating with
and
their eyes.
everyone just keeps doing
Yes.
it. Yeah.
Also, there's and I have a question about this, Keith. There seems to be a fair amount of restraint in like not showing the gun. It's not particularly bloody. Is that like lack of budget or is that You didn't have enough guns.
It's the same gun, and it's not even one from SNL. It's one of those ones that shoots plastic pellets that I bought on a Europe backpacking trip when I was 17.
Oh, yeah.
Is that the one that we used when we shot the original too? It might be.
Yeah, it must have been.
It's the only gun we ever used because we never even would ask for one. It's just from our closet.
So yeah, lack of budget, the fact that there were no props.
But it's also because there was nobody to ask for anything except for, I guess, wardrobe, because we're just in a hotel room on Friday night. So we just went and got it from our house. And then the lack of blood, I guess, we had some that we would just sprinkle on people's hands, I guess. I don't know.
But it is a conscious choice that we didn't want it to be gory. It wasn't like we were doing like a Tarantino spoof or something.
Yeah, you don't want to confuse the joke.
Yeah.
The joke isn't that.
No, but in the OC, there is blood, I feel like, right?
But it's not gratuitous.
There's a blood on the close-up of Shia's hand or your hand when you're holding your stomach and you see it kind of trickling outside of your...
It's network television amount of gore.
Yeah. More about the emotion than anything else.
Why is that so funny, Seth?
I have moved on to laughing about a different thing.
Okay, what is it?
I'm doing prep for other parts of this episode.
Forward movement.
Dag. Okay.
He's in the future.
Well, I feel like there's also, and we can decide later if this is too much of a drag to have in the podcast, but this kind of got scrubbed from the show.
Because there was a shooting, right?
There was a shooting the Monday after this.
Yes.
And it was incredibly tragic, a lot of casualties. And for what it's worth, I think more than maybe people think, SNL tries to be on the right side of an issue like this when cultural sensitivities come into play.
Yeah, absolutely.
And it just seemed maybe inappropriate, even though one didn't really have anything to do with the other. So it wasn't in reruns maybe the rest of that year. And then did it come offline, Keeve, or was it not online?
I really don't know what the 2007 online SNL policy was.
Right.
I don't think that they certainly weren't putting things on YouTube yet. That didn't happen until after we even left the show. So maybe it was NBC.com and it got pulled. I'm not sure.
But it was kind of one of the harder ones to see for a long time.
Yeah, but we did clear the song so that it could be seen. But I don't know if that happened the night of or not.
Maybe that's why it became kind of so popular. Because same thing with what happened with the Mona Lisa. Like it was stolen and people couldn't see it. And so it became, and that was, newspapers were just coming out. Same thing, new media. And then it became one of the most printed images around the world of the Mona Lisa. And everyone was like, oh, this is a fucking painting. Same thing here, where people couldn't find it.
This is our Mona Lisa.
Maybe.
Andy, how'd you feel about that tangent? Do you want to give us a quick bounce on the Mona Lisa tangent?
I was sitting there just being like, oh, we're for sure going to cut that.
Well, now...
That's why none of us interrupted, because we were like, just let him get it out.
Now it's on the fence that you said that.
It's a clean lift.
Now
there won't be any ins and outs to
now
like
it's
sort
back
of...
on the fence.
You were just making it easier for the editors not to have to cut a second audio track.
When it comes to cutting Yorm, I'm always just trying to make it easy on the edit.
Nice. That's kind of you.
Although I was confused because you guys have one of your songs is called Mona Lisa.
Yep.
Yeah.
Right.
But no mention.
So my headspace was there for a minute before
I was
realized.
talking about the original, the OG Mona Lisa.
I realized 20 episodes in now you do little history tangents.
So my memory of Dear Sister, the reason it started becoming a thing past just a sketch that aired was there were a lot of quote unquote fan-made videos redoing it and using other footage from other TV shows and other movies that had similar moments in them, but putting in the Imogen Heap song and cutting it the way we had cut ours. And it turned into kind of its own YouTube thing, which was really awesome.
A meme, if you will.
Yeah.
An early meme.
Early meme.
It seems as though it would have thrived on TikTok today.
Yes. Mm-hmm. The same exact culture of TikTok is what propelled it into success.
We actually have a special voice note from one of the stars of the OC, Rachel Bilson, with her take.
Oh.
Yay! This is a surprise for us.
Okay, so I actually had never seen the Dear Sister skit until a while ago. Hader showed it to me for the first time, and I much prefer it to the actual scene of Trey shooting his brother. Wait, did he shoot his brother? It was hilarious. Definitely my favorite version of anything OC related. But you didn't hear that from me. Okay, I had to pause it and come back. Of course, it was Marissa that shot Trey. That's the famous scene. I swear I was on the show. I promise you. And the skit is hilarious. And I really appreciated it. Obviously, the best head writer was on the case.
Well, I think one thing to take away from that message is if there's ever an OC rewatch podcast, Rachel's going to be the Yorma.
Yeah.
She doesn't remember, which I relate to. I bet it was because her job was so stressful.
She wasn't in that scene, she wasn't there.
No. All over the road, but delightful. And thank you, Rachel.
Yes, thanks.
Thank you, Rachel.
I only disagree with one thing
Which is
about
that?
what she said, which is that the original scene is not as good. And I do think the original scene is pretty fucking great.
Of course.
Oh, yeah. It inspired us.
Now, why wasn't it in the Sweet 16, Seth? What happened?
I don't know. I mean, was it in the final 64?
Yeah.
What did it run up against? That's the real question.
Well, in its seed in the final 64, one moment, it was seed number 6, Dear Sister, Japanese Office, Doogie Howser theme, and Zach Stops by the Set.
So what did it lose to? Can you not tell?
Maybe Doogie Howser took it out because it's so artsy?
None of that seed made it into the Sweet 16.
This was only people that worked at SNL at that exact moment that voted.
I basically picked 64 out of the 100 and I gave them seeds. And yeah, but the number 6 seeds would have gone up against the number 11 seeds, Keeve.
Oh. But you know what? Though? When I look at the Sweet 16, there's nothing I see on there that I would necessarily bump off for Dear Sister.
Well, by giving it a 6 seed, I didn't think it would make the Sweet 16 because the Sweet 16 would be 4 seeds or higher unless there was an upset. Anyway, I think it's important to note that it did have, this had a nice long tail, Dear Sister, and it's really fun to watch. It is a very well executed idea.
Thanks, Sethley.
Were you guys happy when it aired? Is this one where, especially when it was an idea you had before the show?
I was really happy. The first version of it was my idea, and I was really excited about it. Obviously, we were all obsessed with it, but I remember vividly being like, oh, that thing that we started but never finished, let's try it. And also just having loved that moment on the OC and loving that song so much, it was just really fun to play around with the style of it.
It's one of the few songs, too, that I feel like I've never gotten over. Like, I still love it the same way I did when I first heard it.
It was also an act of desperation, clearly.
Yeah.
Because we had obviously spent the whole week trying to come up with something new, and then on Friday went, shit.
Correct. Which happened multiple times. But I'll also say, we'll get there, but there were other ones we had done before. We did a digital short that was a sketch I did in college eventually, the Get Out one. The get out of here.
Oh, right.
And that was not received as well as Dear Sister. So it was...
That's what I mean. It was a desperation, but then it was a success.
It was a huge relief that we were scraping the barrel, but we elevated it from what it had originally been and people liked it.
Did you guys ever hear from Imogen Heap?
I don't think we did. Wish we had.
Yeah.
Big fan. Keith, favorite Imogen Heap song?
Hide and Seek.
Yep, Hide and Seek. I was going to say the same. Yorm?
Oh, man, I didn't have enough time to look up another one. Hide and Seek.
Okay, Seth, would you say Hide and Seek is your favorite?
I'd say Hide and Seek.
Okay,
I would say Hide and Seek.
Great.
There's the most Higginsy sketch of all Higginsy sketches in this show.
Oh, I remember.
What is it?
It's what was it?
They're not selling couches, Andy.
No, Sofa King.
Here at Sofa King, we have all kinds of sofas. Leather, convertibles, sleeper sofas, sectionals, indoor-outdoor, conversation pits.
All here at Sofa King.
How great is that?
It's Sofa King great.
I think I was in it, right?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, you were definitely in it.
Yeah. I remember having a big show because Shia was young and looked young, and I was one of the few younger looking people.
We did fun promos, too.
Yeah.
I remember the Tuesday promos had just been instituted.
Tuesday were the pre-taped ones.
Oh, yeah, the pre-tape ones.
When was the normal ones? Tuesday. Yeah, but that didn't exist before.
Thursday were the classic ones standing on.
Thursday were and still are the in-studio.
Yeah.
Right. When we started, there were no Tuesday promos. And I don't know what happened behind the scenes, but at some point right around this time, Lauren came and said, will you guys film some promos on Tuesdays?
I remember, I believe, Shookus saying, you guys have been told to do it.
Well, sure.
So we get credit for that then, right, too?
Yeah.
Yeah, we invented the Tuesday promo.
That is true.
So you're welcome.
I was like, Lauren, why don't we sell the show on Tuesdays? It's never too early.
Yeah. You said it while smoking a cigar, too, right?
Why are we sleepwalking through the first half of the week? There's a sketch that I sometimes will pop up on my social media that I think this was a Harper Steele idea that I was lucky enough to work with her on, which is Under 21. Do you remember this sketch, Andy?
Yes, buying beer.
It's a great sketch.
Yeah, we're like pretending to be construction workers. Is it that?
Yeah, it's really nice Harper writing because it is an idea. It is a trope we've seen a bunch, which is underage dudes trying to buy beer. You're both wearing fake mustaches. You're dressed as construction guys. Oh, excuse me. You're dressed as a businessman. He's dressed as a construction guy.
Got it. Yeah, but we met up after work, probably, presumably.
Well, immediately you walk in. Keenan's behind the counter.
Woo! What a hard day at the office. Yeah. How was your job at the factory?
Hard and long. Long day down at the factory where I've worked for years.
How long has it been?
What, me? Down at the factory? I'd have to say 6, 7 years.
Since you were 18?
That's right. And I'm 24 now, so that makes 6 years down at the factory working.
Huh. Wow. I'm still 1 year older than you. That makes me 25.
And very fun. And it's a very, very good game. Well executed. Here's a fun moment. So Keenan, by the way, Keenan's not sold on you guys being of age.
He's skeptical.
You guys got some ID?
You bet. Oh, shoot. I just remembered something. I was on the golf course this morning with some business associates, and we were exchanging business cards, and I must have given one of the guys my driver's license by mistake. It's a true story, or else how could I have these 3 business cards from real businesses? I ask you that.
Good backstories for these.
Yeah.
These guys put the work in. I think that's the joy of the sketch is all the work.
Yeah, you're like, just give them the beer.
And, for me to be just handed a live sketch to be in with laughs in it, still a dream.
Yeah.
Now, can we go to Yorm's corner for something called Slice Co Knives?
Oh.
Yorm, any memory of Slice Co Knives?
Like zero. I honestly, the saddest part of doing this show is me feeling like I'm almost brain dead with my memories. I remember being tired.
Okay, great.
Well, your brain used to be as sharp as a Slice Co knife.
Yeah.
You're the first name on here credited.
Yeah.
Here's how sharp your brain used to be.
Please.
Yorm, I'm not going to tell you anything about the sketch, but I'm going to tell you the 3 character names because I looked it up and I'm pretty happy about it.
Great.
Will is a knife salesman named Blade P. Cutsworth.
Oh, that sounds good.
He does say, after he introduces himself, not my legal name. So he's owning up right away to the fact that he's renamed himself Blade P. Cutsworth. Shia, his protege, is Bernard Throttle Hunt. And they're having trouble selling knives to Kristen, which on like page fucking 100, it becomes clear the issue.
I already have a paper cleaver.
But do you have a paper cleaver?
Yes.
But do you have a paper cleaver?
I am Melanie Ginsu. I have like every knife in existence.
But do you have a knife that can effortlessly cut through a grown man's pinky finger?
Actually, I don't.
Bernard, please effortlessly cut through your pinky finger.
Ah, that's very funny. I'm going to say that this was all based on me and my wife's goddaughter selling us Cutco knives, which had just happened. And then clearly it got out of control, and I don't remember any of that, like zero.
Now, Yorm, you have another cut after dress one that I think, spoke about on the podcast or in real life out of embarrassment.
Okay.
Monkey business.
Ooh, now I do remember that. I will say this, that me and Jost had a thing where we were trying for a while to write half a sketch and then hand it off and have the other guy write the other half, and then we'd find out at the table what the other guy had written. And this was not part of that. This was like, we were sort of coming up with the worst ideas, I think. I don't know how it actually happened, but the premise, you'll not be surprised, is that Shia has been told by his parents to cut out the monkey business. And then, of course, he goes upstairs and there's a bunch of monkeys and he's like, pack it up, guys. It's over.
Did we have real monkeys during dress or people in monkeys?
No, it was the flying monkeys from Wizard of Oz.
A lot of screeching Fred.
Yeah.
You know what I'll say, though? Like, if that was like a one-off joke in like Airplane or something.
Yeah.
And they just cut to all the monkeys. All right, guys, pack it up. And then you cut to the next thing.
Sure, but not for like 7.5 pages though, right?
Yeah, right. Exactly. But it's a good like one joke.
Yes, but it did become one of those things where you were like, we got it into dress. And then I remember praying that it wouldn't go to air. I'm just like, please don't have this be a thing I did.
Yeah. Well, as we know, per John Lutz's voice notes last week, everyone knows the writers that write every sketch.
That's true. Well, that's why you have podcasts, right?
Wait, do you have the roommate meeting script up, Seth?
Monkey Business?
No, there is a Sandberg Tacony joint cut after dress called Roommate Meeting.
Oh, no.
Let's get it up here.
I bet this one's good.
Kevin's going to grab it.
Because, again, we've discussed how SNL people, we always made the titles super vague so you wouldn't spoil any joke or tip anything for the room.
Yeah.
But then that's why you have things called Roommate Meeting that no one can remember.
Yeah, and then you have Monkey Business, which is in the title.
Hey, while we're waiting, I feel like I had a good dinner party bon mot the other night.
Dinner party what?
Bon mot? Like a
bon mot.
A quip.
Oh, yeah.
Like a bit of a quip, if you will.
Oh,
Yeah,
okay.
yeah.
A bit of whimsy, a bit of wordplay.
Yeah, gotcha. You go to those kind of dinner parties. That's very cool.
You guys ready?
Yeah, hit us.
Someone said, where do you live, to somebody at the table? And they said, I live between New York and LA. And I said, Tulsa?
Yeah.
Got it.
Yeah.
I loved it.
That's a real bon mot. Yeah.
It didn't get an immediate laugh for me because I was confused by the person phrasing it that way. I thought maybe they were actually saying they lived somewhere between New York and LA.
Yeah, your setup made your answer seem logical, whereas you wanted to be like, oh, I live between New York and LA. You needed a little of that.
I see. I made it a little too, right. I got a little too excited about my punchline and I was a little too technical with the setup.
Yeah, you actually set your punchline up. You did it a disservice by setting it up plainly.
I did a disservice. Yeah.
But it's a good bon mot.
I mean, I don't know if I'd make it a recurring schedule.
Tulsa? I mean, it's a dad joke in a good way. I like it.
Yeah.
But is it pronounced bon mot or bon mot? Sound off in the comments.
Well, both you said it the same way. Bon mot, I would say. Bon mot.
Bon mot.
Again, we're just doing this. Oh, fucking finally, roommate meeting. Here we go.
Leave all of that.
I could have come soon.
Thank you, Kevin. You saved Seth.
Same thing. It's just firing monkeys.
God damn it, I wish.
Sometimes you got it. Sometimes you don't.
I'm just gonna, here's how this is gonna work. I'm gonna describe what it is as I read it as fast as I can.
Okay, great.
But I'm not gonna read every word. I'll be like, all right, it seems like a crappy apartment. Shia's in the room. It's Shia, Bill, and Andy. He seems upset. People are eating his food. Andy and Bill. All right, well, I think I know. It is basically monkey business. Shia says, you guys have been eating my food. Cut to Bill and Andy together on the couch in gigantic fat suits.
Jesus Christ. Wow. Cool.
And then that's it.
This went to dress. We could get a freeze frame of this.
Oh my God.
Wow, two to dress.
Just Monty Pythoning it.
Yeah.
Bill says, not a roommate, a friend. Yeah. And not just a friend who plays the lion's share of the rent. Yeah, you're like a lion. Row, row. Andy, row.
I do remember
Bill,
this
row,
now.
row.
Yeah, you're like a lion. Yeah.
Oh, here's a good one. This, by the way, is also the same as, talk about a show full of bumps. This is basically the fake ID sketch. It's just like guys being like, no. No, we are what we say. Here's some writing to be proud of. No, Shia. Just a second ago, you said your food tastes so good. Bill, no, we didn't. Andy, yeah, we didn't. We said your mood is so wood.
It's all coming back now.
What would you call the genre of sketch? It's also like the I think you should leave a hot dog car.
Just denial.
Where something happens. And basically it's like somebody ate all my pie and you cut to someone with a bunch of pie on their face, right? It's who crashed this hot dog car? And you cut to the guy in the hot dog suit. Who ate all my food? And then the reveal is you guys in a fat suit.
I would say it's called an obviously did it sketch.
Yeah.
There you go. All right. Now there's a YouTube video here called How Dear Sister Changed Comedy.
Really?
Oh, let's just run that.
Right. We didn't write it, guys. We did not post this.
Posted by Karsten Runquist 4 years ago.
What a genius.
Oh, Monsieur Runquist.
What a smart guy.
1.4 million views.
What's the first comment, Keeve?
Let's see. First comment up. Who the fuck moved the comment section? That's first comment. We can skip
sounds
that
good.
one.
Classic.
Runquist is The Lonely Island had such a huge influence on modern comedy and not many people give them enough credit. Well, don't worry. We're going to make a whole podcast where we just do it for ourselves. Thanks at VASM 650.
Hey, real quick. Dear Sister, Criterion?
Yes.
Yeah.
I vote yes.
I'm surprised it didn't make 16. I'm a little insulted.
You guys?
Yeah.
I just checked out
a library
the
book.
Dear Sister YouTube comment section.
Yeah.
And I thought it would be more interesting to say what the most recent comment was. And it's a 2-comment reply here, which is a day ago, someone said, "Who's here? July 2024." And then somebody immediately wrote, "Was that fast enough?"
God.
That's nice.
So there's some lively back and forth happening over at the Dear Sister comment section.
I love that. What's the first, the top comment, top rated?
Oh, top rated is, hold on. This is literally just every Shakespeare play ever.
I'm with that.
I love how there's just one gun and they're passing it around.
Hey, they noticed.
Yeah, someone noticed.
Got our money's worth out of that gun, or you did.
Oh, this is interesting. I remember watching this sketch when it first came out and not really getting it. Just watched the end of OC season 2 and it finally clicked after all these years. So that's somebody 8 months ago finally got it.
And that was you? Seth, you left that comment?
Yeah, I did.
Yeah, active on the boards.
All right, so it's agreed. Criterion Collection, Dear Sister.
Yes.
Yes, but I would categorize it as one, as we've sort of touched on, that felt like it was pretty good when it happened. And then over time became, like, it was one of the ones where we got told much later that it was that.
Yes.
Criterion based on the world, not us.
I would say, like, when it aired, you didn't think there would be a YouTube video about how it changed comedy.
Definitely not. It was more like relief that we thought of one and it had a beginning, middle, and end, basically.
Yeah.
And that people laughed and we were like, woof, did it.
And then, Yorm, you were relieved that Monkey Business didn't air because you were confident it would have had a YouTube video called How Monkey Business Ruined Comedy.
Oh, I changed, but subtext ruined.
Changed, right? Changed with a big old red arrow down.
Yeah.
Not all change is good.
Correct.
That'd be so funny if you hated something being like, Monkey Business changed comedy. I used to enjoy it. Now I hate it.
Now I hate every bit of it.
It's a real massive change.
Yeah.
Hey, fellas.
Yes.
Yeah.
Back in the Peyton Manning episode, our friend Lutz left us a few voice notes.
He did.
I gave him the bad news that Andy kind of thought they weren't good voice notes.
Okay.
Right.
He sent in a new voice note.
Oh, good.
No.
Oh, you're in for it, bro.
Oh, boy.
Hi, Lonely Islands.
Plural.
Oh, I'm so glad to be back with you today. I can almost hear Andy going, another Lutz story. Yes. So, give a little context. I was asked to do a favor by Seth and send in a couple stories about the Peyton Manning episode. Andy thought my stories were boring. Now, as you know, one thing about me is that I love getting a note when I do a favor. So I'm going to take that note that Andy gave me, curl it up around me, and use it to make this little clip a little more exciting. So, Andy, this is for you. Samberg note.
That was it.
Love you, Andy.
That was a lot more exciting. I'll give him that.
Yeah.
He did have a lot more energy there.
Might have misread your note a little bit.
Love you, Lutzy. Thank you.
Thanks, Lutz. All right. Good episode of whatever this is.
What?
It could be anything. It's just a piece of media.
I'm just saying I don't want to say what this was or why we're doing this, but it was a good episode of whatever it is.
Of recorded content.
Oh, you don't want to say the word podcast because I was being that way about it yet. It was just the way you were using it. Obviously, this is a podcast.
Okay. By the way, I don't think you've been there the whole time, but it's nice you finally.
It felt to me, Seth, like if you're about to like have sex and you're like, should we commence with the sex?
That's how you interpret it.
You took the romance out of it.
Yeah.
Don't take the romance out of podcasting.
Just get into it, brother. Yeah.
Be a little smoother.
Commence. By the way, I'd be a little bit, I mean, I can't speak for the ladies, but I wouldn't hate a guy who uses commence. Like, I think the flowery language. Look, you're the guy who just got back from foggy London town. Isn't that kind of how they lay it out?
Yeah, that's how they all do it out there.
I wouldn't know.
But that's the problem about foggy London town. By the time you figure out what you're doing, it's so foggy.
Yeah, maybe it did.
It's too late.
Man, yeah, you're like, I couldn't see a thing. It was foggy.
So many Yanks, to use the term, come back from London and they're like, honey, I didn't know it was foggy.
I thought you were saying like when you're alone in a hotel in foggy London town, there are so many Yanks.
Oh, there are a lot of Yanks there.
So you're in a tricky situation when you go to foggy London town because you do use the term Yanks all the time, just not the way they use it about Americans.
I wouldn't say I used the term.
He performs it.
So it's a real who's on first for you in foggy London town. You walk into a pub with your American friend and they're like, oh, look, a couple of Yanks. And you're like, a couple? It usually takes me a few more than that.
Oh, that's very good. That's kind of a Naked Gun joke, July 18th.
All right. We'll be back in a week. Thanks, everybody.
All right. Bye, guys.
Wait, Seth, wait.
Whoa.
What?
You forgot to say I love you guys.
I love you guys.
Love you.
Love you.
Love you too.